It's TBR time, y'all. This year, it's just flying by. We're already at our March TBR. Let's check in. How did I do on my February TBR? Not good. But it's time to make a March one anyways. Y'all know I never stick to these, but I just like mood reading and putting down what I want to prioritize for the following month. So this is just my priority TBR. And I was so excited putting together this March TBR, y'all. And let me tell you why. I only have 2 required readings for the entire month of March. Do you know how amazing that is? As a mood reader, I hate having required readings. But yeah, well, I shouldn't say hate. I just would rather read whatever I want to read. But I'm done with all my readathons and read-alongs in March. And then I only have Smut Club and Out of Bounds. And I'm so excited about these 2 books for that. So I just feel like March is going to be a great month for reading because I can truly just pick whatever I feel like. So let's get into things. When this video goes up, I don't know. I'm assuming both of these book club picks will be announced, but if they haven't yet, then you're getting a little sneak preview. So for Smut Club for March that I co-host with Cheyenne from That Tall Book Girl, we are going to be reading Deadly Gossip by Brittany Nicole. So this one, we both realized that we had on our TBRs. I think she had just downloaded it and I had added it to my TBR recently. Then when we were talking, we're like, well, let's just go ahead and do this one. So this one sounds really good. I think it's a little bit of a romantic thriller-ish. So this one sounds like this dude, the hero, is a Hollywood fixer, and he sounds like the Olivia Pope, but for Hollywood and not for politics. And he comes in and he obviously just fixes people, fixes their image, helps with the press. And then I think the heroine is one of his clients. And obviously it's a no-no to be dating a client, but I think that they can't help but be attracted to each other. But maybe there's some death in here as well. Maybe there's some high stakes stuff because it's called Deadly Gossip. I don't know. It sounds so fun. And I love Hollywood elite kind of stuff. And Scandal is one of my favorite shows. So if this guy is going to give fixer energy like Olivia Pope, I'm all over it. I'm very excited for this one. And then next, for Out of Bounds Book Club that I co-host with Nikki from Nikki and Bookland, our pick is Was I Ever Here by Naomi Loud. So this is another new to both of us author. And this one, so the hero in this one, it's that he died. He was his throat was cut open and he died. And for years he was just going through the motions afterwards, but he's always felt tied to this soul and searching out this soul. And then he ends up finding her when he finds his murderer and is exacting his revenge. She's there hiding under the bar or something. Then he realizes that oh, this is the one that he's been looking for, or that his soul has been looking for. And then once he sees her, nothing's gonna stop him from staying away from her, and that she is going to be his. So it sounds it sounds darker. It sounds maybe I don't know if it's gonna be stalker, but he might just be you know what, you're mine and you don't really have a choice in the matter. I don't know, but it sounds really good. I'm really excited about both of these picks. I think they're gonna be really good. Okay, next up is Deliver by Pam Godwin. So this one I've actually had downloaded on my Kindle for so long. This was a free ebook a while ago, and I just had it sitting on my Kindle. And then Crystal from Crystal's Bookish Life, her and I did a collab last week where she did her favorite dark heroes and I did my favorite light heroes, and she included some of the books from this series. And I've had my eye on this series for a really long time. The way that she was talking about it, I was you know what, I just need to get into this series finally. And you have to start with Deliver book 1. So this is an incredibly dark romance series. I think the hero in this one is the one that's trafficked, and then the heroine is maybe the one who's supposed to deliver him to, I don't know, the people, and then they maybe fall in love. I don't even know. I'm more I think I just have the other books top of head, so I'm kind of struggling to remember what this one totally is. But anyways, I gotta start here first. And I did ask Crystal, because I know you guys know that this is my one trigger, animal violence, and Pam Godwin tends to have that in her books, but she didn't think there was any in this one. And then also she asked Jessen, and Jessen didn't remember any in this series as well. So I feel I kind of got a bit of a green light. I'll still be a little cautious just in case. I think this one might be in the clear regarding that. So I'm excited to give this series a go. I've had it on my TBR for forever. Next up, Power by Cassandra Robbins. So I've had my eye on this one for a while, and then we were talking about it when I was just with some of my booktube friends when we were on a trip recently, and I think Jess was talking about it, and she was just it's just pure smut. And some of the other people had also read it and they said the same thing. I was you know what, I just kind of want that. And here's the thing with this one is that it's a mother's fiance romance. So the hero is engaged to the heroine's mother, and it's an age gap. Obviously taboo, forbiddenness. I don't know. I kind of want to start this one right now. I just feel like that's gonna be fun. I've never read anything by Cassandra Robbins before, and I just need something that's like, I hate to say like mindless, but I just want something that, you know, is just like a bit of a palate cleanser. I just want something that's hot, fun, and not gonna like, I don't know, not gonna really like be an effort to read, I guess. I don't know. And I feel like this one could deliver that. Next up, okay, Nikki, if you're watching this, Untouchable by Sam Mariano. I have put this on my list plenty of times before, not this year, but I put Untouchable on lists before. I've been wanting to read this book for a very long time. So many of my friends love it, specifically Nikki. I know this is like one of her favorite books of all time. She just loves Sam Mariano, and how did that just come out? Anyways, I read Stitches last month by Sam Mariano and loved it. And I was like, you know what? I just need to give this one a go. It's a really, really heavy bully romance, and I know a lot of people can't even make it past like the first 2 chapters or something because the hero does some bad things to the heroine, and I think that like turns a lot of people away from it. That actually makes me a little more intrigued to see what goes on here and how he ends up being like a redeemable character. I don't know. I just need to read this freaking book. It's literally been on my TBR for forever. So I'm like, Kayla, I'm gonna put it on here. I'm gonna download it on my Kindle, and I'm just gonna finally read it. Next up, I have Damaged Like Us by Kristen Becker-Ritchie. So this is the first book in the Like Us series, which is the spin-off series of the Addicted / Calloway sisters. It's their children. It's like the Next Generation series. And this one follows Mafi, who is Lillian Lowe's son, and it's his romance with his bodyguard. And I think his name Pharaoh, so like Mafi and Pharaoh. So it's an MM bodyguard romance. I don't know. I'm just kind of ready to be back with the Calloways, just like back into that world a little bit. Last year, like it would have been too soon for me to like pick up this series right after I finished the other one, but I feel like I'm kind of ready to be a part of it again, but not with the parents in the same way. And I'm more specifically just really excited to get to Jane's books, which are 4 and 5. So I'm like, you know what, if I gotta read Mafi's first, not like that I'm dreading them or anything, I'm just like mostly excited for Jane because she's Connor and Rose's daughter. So like, why am I not gonna be excited for Jane, you know? Next up is Ivan by Sophie Lark. So this one, what's it called? The Boston Underworld series? Is that what this one is called? So here's the thing with this one. So I'm reading the 6th book in the Brutal Birthright series right now. So I'm almost done with all of those. And then I was like, I can finally go to Kingmakers. Psych. Caitlin was like, you thought? No, you got to read Ivan and Snow next. I was like, so I'm putting Ivan on my TBR. I just want to get to Kingmakers so freaking badly, but I'm a stickler for the reading order, and if this is the order I'm supposed to do it in, I'm gonna listen. And I actually do really want to read Ivan. So this one is a mafia book again. I don't know how it takes place in timeline order. I just know I'm supposed to read it after Brutal Birthright. And this one is between a hero who's like a mafia boss, I think, obviously because it's mafia, and then an assassin. The heroine is an assassin and like almost ends up succeeding, and he's like, how did you almost kill me? And then I think he keeps her as his captive, and it's like their romance. But I think, is her name Sloane? If this is the one that I'm thinking of, people have said that they think I'm really going to love this one, that I'm really going to like Sloane a lot. So I'm excited for it. Here's the thing. Like, I'm not excited to read this book. I actually like wanted to read this one back before I even started Brutal Birthright because I thought this one sounded the most interesting. But at this point, I just want to get to Kingmakers. So that's why I'm putting this one on this list, because I'm doing a good job of powering through so that way I can get to Kingmakers. So I'm just like 2.5 because I'm like 45% of the way through Heavy Crown. So I'm like 2.5 books away from being able to start Kingmakers. So we're getting there. It's just a process. Next up is a book that I put on my TBR last year and I never got around to, and that is Blindside by Candy Steiner. This is the 2nd book in her, I don't know what it's called. I don't know what the series is called. Fair Catch is the first one. I really liked Fair Catch. And this one is the one that I actually originally wanted to read out of the series, but of course I'm a stickler for reading order, so I was going to start with Fair Catch. And then I got out of like the college sports mood, and I didn't pick it back up. But I really want to jump into Blindside. So this one follows, obviously, the hero is a football player, and I don't really quite know what the deal is with the heroine, but I think, does she maybe tutor him? Here's the thing. I saw a reel talking about how there was this one, it was like, get ready with me to go show my boyfriend a scene from one of my favorite books, and then we're gonna act it out later. And it was talking about this book. And I was like, you know what, screw it. Let's put it back on the TBR. Let's get it back into the cycle of my mind. Oh, lovely, they're salting the ground outside right now. Well, at least they're able to make it back up. So yeah, I want to read that one. Also, the 4th book just came out. I don't know if I have any interest in the other ones, but I still really want to read Blindside. Next up, I have The Prince's Bride by J.J. McAvoy. So this one is, here's the thing, y'all know I've kind of been on like some royalty type stuff ever since like all the Harry and Meghan stuff. Like I'm fascinated by the royal family and I love Harry and Meghan. And so when all of that was coming out, I'm like, I really want a royalty romance. So I read Scarred this past month, which was a royalty romance. And then this one, Caitlin from the Love Librarian was reading and loving, and I know Zay from Woody Reads was also really liking this one. And they said that it's inspired, like the author was inspired by Hagen. I just create their couple name, Hagen. Oh, I'm onto something. Harry and Meghan. And so the hero in this one, he is, I think, like a bit of a playboy prince, but he needs to settle down and get married. And then our heroine, I think she wants her inheritance, but she has to get married in order to access that. So like they are kind of like arranged to marry each other, but neither really like wants to or something. And they end up getting married. I don't know, but I just, like I said, I'm on some kind of like royalty thing right now, and it just sounded really good. And I think this is the first in a duet. I think it's a duet, and it just sounded good. So I want to give it a go. Next is Golden Wings and Pretty Things by Kaylee King. So I've never read anything by this author before, but it's a boyfriend's dad romance, which like I want. And here's the thing with this one is that it's not like her ex's dad yet. I think we start out the book, and maybe when like the dad and her start getting together, she's still with the boyfriend and it's their romance. I think the heroine of this one, like she needs help with something and she seeks out her boyfriend's dad to help her, and he's like, I'll help you, but for a price. And that price is you, me, you know? I don't know. It sounds good. Then I have River of Shadows by Karina Halley. So this one is a fantasy romance. So I think the heroine in this one, her dad dies. And when she goes back, like back home, I think, I don't know, is it maybe like somewhere in Europe? She like goes back for his funeral maybe, and then finds out that his body's missing, and it kind of like unravels from there, and she finds out that maybe like he wasn't what she thought he was, and then there's like this fantasy element that comes into it. I don't fully know, but like I said, I've been wanting to read some books by like people that are going to the book signings that I'm going to later on this year, and Karina Halley is one of those. I think I put a Karina Halley book on my TBR every single month so far, and I haven't read one yet. Maybe this will be the one that I finally get to. Next up is Torment Part 1 by Dylan Page. This one is a very, very dark duet. I'm assuming it's a romance, but actually I don't know 100% sure. So this one it's a step sibling age gap motorcycle club romance, I think. So our heroine has always kind of like seen her older stepbrother as like a safe person for her, even though I think he's like the enforcer of the MC. Like he kind of does like the nitty gritty kind of work that other people don't want to do and like get their hands dirty. They like call him in, and he kind of uses her to like calm him down, like keep him grounded, and it's their romance. I don't really know what fully happens to this. I've just heard that it's very dark and very twisted, but like really good. So I don't know. I definitely want to give this one a go. It's been on my TBR for a long time, and I've seen it circulating for a while. And as I was digging through my Goodreads, like I sorted it the opposite way to kind of like look through and be like, what haven't I like looked at in a while and still want to read? And that popped out at me. So I was like, you know what? Put it on the list. Next up is The Right Move by Liz Tom Ford. If you haven't heard about this book, then I feel like you haven't been on Bookstagram lately or YouTube lately, because everyone has been talking about the Mile High series by her. And this is the second book. Garbage. Why are you out on the roads today? They're gone. We're back. Right Move by Liz Tom Ford. So everyone's been talking about the series and how much they love it. And this is actually the second book. And here's the thing. I might just skip over Mile High. I do really want to read the first one still, but this one is a fake dating best friend's little sister romance. So our hero, he's a basketball player, and his coach kind of like has it out for him a little bit. I think he becomes team captain. And he needs to kind of like clean up his image a little bit. So the way to do so is by getting a fake girlfriend and kind of showing like, look, I have this like good image. So yeah, he ends up fake dating his roommate and best friend's little sister. So putting it on here, and last but not least is a new release coming out at the end of this month, and that is Highest Bidder by Sarah Kate. I always forget to include new releases on these TBRs for some reason, but this one I did not forget because I am so excited for Highest Bidder. I will be downloading this as soon as it comes out. It is the 5th book in the Salacious Players Club series, and this one, it's a huge age gap. I mean, as you can tell by the cover, this guy is like a total silver fox, and I don't even really know that much about the premise. And to be honest, I don't really care. I'm just going to read it, and I'm sure I'm going to love it. So I'm putting it on here as well. So anyways, that is it for my March TBR. Crazy to think that it's already March. February flew by. But anyways, that is it for today's video. Next, I will have a recommendation video for a specific trope coming on Friday. Then I'll have my wrap up next week. And I don't know from that point on. Because, like I said, I've been kind of struggling this year. Just like creatively. So, I don't know. We'll see what we come up with for later on in the month. But anyways, that is it for today's video. And I will see you when I see ya.